Okay. Tonight's speech is, should you drive while talking on your cell phone? Should you drive while talking on your cell phone? By the time we rolled into the year 2000, the amount of people who owned cell phones was in the millions. And 85% of those people use their cell phones while driving, while behind the wheel of their vehicles. Most states have implemented laws to prevent drivers from using their cell phones with their vehicle while their vehicle is moving. These laws were implemented because there was evidence to support the fact that drivers using their cell phones are distracted and may become involved in a motor vehicle accident. Some legislators believe that driving a vehicle and talking on the phone at the same time is very dangerous. However, what is being debated is how dangerous it is and how do the risks outweigh the benefits. Some argue that we should not prevent motorists from using their cell phones while driving, but rather educate the public about using cell phones while driving and how it can be dangerous. And if motorists are reckless and drive unsafely while using their cell phones, prosecute them under existing laws. I think it's safe to say all of us have heard a story about someone talking, texting, searching on their cell phone while driving, and either causing or being in an accident. Who hasn't seen the driver described by Anthony Ambrose as having a styrofoam cup of coffee and cigarette in one hand and their cell phone in the other, as well as trying to read a newspaper perched on the steering wheel? And while doing all of this, driving at excessive speeds. Another story is of a motorist, Peter Cohen, being rear-ended, and the guilty party emerging from his vehicle, still talking on his cell phone. To say this driver was guilty of neglect and reckless driving would be an understatement. It would be naive to believe there are no dangers associated with cell phone use and driving. A question we should be asking is, how great is that danger? A study was done in the infant years of cell phone usage by Robert Tebishirani and Donald Redemeyer in 1997, where they studied 699 drivers who owned cell phones and had been involved in accidents. The researchers looked at the cell phone records of the drivers in the study and found that those drivers were 4 times more likely to be involved in an automobile accident than those drivers who did not own a cell phone. This might sound like an awfully high number, but it might be a mistake to make too much of it. What this study did not document was who was at fault in these accidents, the cell phone user or the person not using the cell phone. The study also did not identify the direct cause of the accident because of cell phone usage. So in reality, some of these accidents may have been caused by the non-cell phone user. The authors do point out the benefits as well as the risk of using cell phones while driving, but yet they are not in favor of placing more restrictions on cell phone users who use their phones while driving. As I stated earlier, most states do not keep accurate records of accidents and whether or not the use of a cell phone is a causative factor of the accident. However, by December 2000, there were only 10 states that kept records of accidents involving cell phone usage. In addition, there is no evidence that can differentiate the distraction caused by a cell phone in comparison to any other distraction, such as chewing gum, changing the station on the radio, smoking a cigarette, or eating food or drinking, etc. Another study done in 1999 found that there was no nationally accredited document that demonstrated the link between cell phone use and automobile accidents. One would think that prior to creating new laws that restrict the use of cell phones while driving, it would be very helpful to have useful data to support the implementation of cell phone usage in driving laws. This study was performed by Mark Burris and Alistair Kane of the Center for Urban Transportation. Researchers at Harvard Center for Risk Analysis in 2000 determined that the risk of driving and talking on a cell phone was relatively small compared to other driving risks. In comparison, to death caused by cell phone usage are far lower than other driving risks like not wearing a seatbelt or driving a very small vehicle or a convertible. So one would argue, does the benefits of creating and implementing new phone laws outweigh the cost of the additional burden it would place on law enforcement? What are some of the benefits of using a cell phone on the road? You are able to make a call without having to locate a freeway box and standing unprotected on the freeway. You can also conduct business using your cell phone while driving, thereby effectively taking your office on the road. With a cell phone, you can always call for directions if you get lost or looking for a place. You can call to say you're going to be running a bit late, or you can call for help if you're having car issues. And since the government regulates so much of our lives, would it not be prudent to do their due diligence before creating new laws that regulate the use of cell phones while driving? Some would argue that it would be better to educate the public about cell phone usage than to create and enforce new laws. Educating the public can be effective, as wasn't the case with the use of seatbelts. Nowadays, seatbelts are absolutely standard in all vehicles, and more people than not use them. The group MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, educated the public about the dangers of drunk driving, which in turn created quite a few programs and groups to stop people from driving while under the influence of alcohol and beverages. Today we now have a designated driver, the one who abstains from drinking, so to safely drive your friends home who have drank. What needs to be done is to enforce the laws already on the books as they relate to reckless, dangerous drivers. Even law enforcement agencies do not call for laws regulating cell phone users being distracted. The California Highway Patrol say they can already cite distracted drivers. We all need to accept and adapt to the fact that cell phones are here to stay and that people are going to drive while talking on their cell phones. So we need to be vigilant and on the lookout for those distracted drivers who are also rude. My daughter has 3 children, 3 young children who are very high energy, and when the 3 of them are in her car, it is pure chaos. For the purpose of this speech, I asked her what she found more distracting, her children or her cell phone. The look she gave me was priceless, and she stated her kids, of course. Her phone does not constantly shout, "Mommy, Mommy," or say, "Mommy, Emmanuel hit me," or "Mara took my toy." She also said her phone does not constantly cry like her 2-year-old daughter. She said she could ignore or turn off her cell phone, but she could not turn off her children, and so the distraction was continued. I also asked my son if he felt using a cell phone while driving was a distraction. He said yes. I didn't ask him what else he thought was distracting to a driver. He said trying to change a CD or looking for music. I was really surprised by his response because I thought most young people would not have found these things to be distracting while they were driving. In closing, people always debate the pros and cons of driving while talking on a cell phone. Honestly, I talk on my cell phone while driving, and to date I have not had, nor have I caused, any automobile accidents. A lot of conclusions can be drawn from my experience as a cell phone talking driver. I'm a highly skilled driver, I'm highly vigilant, I have the reflexes of a jungle cat, or I've just been lucky. Safety on the road is a responsibility of every driver, whether you're using a cell phone or not. And I personally feel, as a driver, I should use hands-free function my vehicle has or ignore the call while I'm driving. We all need to use the roads safely. Thank you.
Okay. And cut.